Welcome to Rock Your Reinvention. I'm Karen Freeland, your guide to ditching corporate and designing a life you love. If you're ready to shift your mindset, boost your confidence, and finally take action on that dream career or business, you're in the right place. It's your time. Let's rock your reinvention. I am so excited for you right now. Why? Because this is the year you make your empowered exit. This is the year you start betting on yourself. Now, what is an empowered exit? It is not just a strategic exit plan on paper, but it is a whole mindset shift. It's about stepping into freedom with confidence, about designing a life and a career that you love that achieves success on your terms. And I really want you to focus on that last part, success on your terms. Because let's be real, if you want to be successful in corporate, you know the name of the game. Work 24/7. Put your family and marriage on the back burner. Hopefully they'll still be there when you reach the top. Work till you're burnt out. Oh, and then keep going. Try not to have a heart attack from stress or send your gut into SOS mode before you reach 55. Hang on till those long-term incentives kick in. Then it will all be worth it. Grind it out, even though you're killing your liver with all the alcohol you need to self-medicate. Make sure you're always on. Am I painting a realistic picture or what? And you know what? For a while, you can do it. I did. For a season, you can ignore the misery and the lack of fulfillment. You can focus on the paycheck. But there comes a time in every woman's life where you look in the mirror and you think, there has to be more. I had to be made for something better. And that's what the empowered exit is going to help you accomplish. Finding out what that something more is and pivoting to it. Executing your plan with confidence. Because here's the really important thing. You can't just walk away from a six-figure salary overnight without a plan and quit. I mean, you can, but hello, you might as well drop a grenade in your living room because that's probably how the transition is going to feel. I'm not talking about blowing up your life. Instead, I want to help you make a strategic, well thought out plan. And then when the time is right, you can make your move. So for the first time in over a year, I am launching a new tool, but it's really only new to you because I have been using this framework in my coaching business with my paid coaching clients for the past 3 years. I've updated it. I've refined it. And now I am going to be releasing it to the market, to you. Yay. It's the Empowered Exit Guide. This is your one-stop shop for everything you need to consider to make a successful exit plan in 30 days. No more spinning your wheels or trying to figure out any of this on your own. Just a detailed, step-by-step list of considerations that you need to make before you leave your job. And you can actually get it right now at KarenFreeland.com/empowered-exit. Again, don't forget that's Karen with an I. KarenFreeland.com/empowered-exit. Now let's talk about what I mean when I say have your exit plan in 30 days. I don't mean you're actually leaving your job in 30 days. I mean you are building your exit plan. You've got it written out on paper in 30 days. You're beginning to take the right actions and get all the info that you need to solidify that plan in 30 days. There's a big difference there. So it's important to call out. I don't want you to be stressed thinking, oh my gosh, I've got to make this pivot in 30 days. No, this guide is meant to make it easy, no pressure, no stress. And here's what I love so much about the guide is it really empowers you to move at your own pace. This is not a one size fits all. I have seen women use this guide to accelerate their exit. I had one client that I was working with who was planning her exit when all of a sudden she was laid off from her job. Any other time, she would have been panic stricken. She would have been pulling her hair out. But because she had the Empowered Exit Guide, she could quickly and efficiently work through the most immediate and important considerations for her specific situation. She felt more in control and was able to launch her consulting and speaking career faster as a result. Another one of my clients was thinking about leaving in 2 years. And I kept telling her she could move faster if she wanted, but she was working through some fear, which is very normal when you are leaving your corporate job, especially when you've been in that industry, when you've been working in corporate for so long, your identity, all of that gets so wrapped up into who you are. Well, once she started working through the guide with me, she realized, oh my gosh, I'm in way better shape than I thought I was. I can shorten this timeline to 8 months. This is way more feasible than I thought it was going to be. And then she was able to put in her 2 weeks notice right after she received her bonus. And it was so exciting to see her move forward with that confidence. And I want the same for you. Now, I am always 100% transparent, probably too transparent based on some people's views, but that's okay. I like to keep it real. I have also worked with clients who, once they started using the guide, realized they weren't as ready as they thought. In one case in particular, I had a client who wanted to quit and she wasn't going to work. She didn't want to start a business. She didn't want to go into nonprofit. She was just like, no, I really just want to be home with my family and I'm very burnt out and I just want some time off. Had no plans of coming back to corporate at any time. But her husband was going through some health challenges at that point. And once she started investigating health insurance and her financial position, she realized she actually needed to stay about 3 more years before she would really feel comfortable with the change, right? We can always make a change, but how comfortable are we with the change? And so I was really grateful that we had been able to work through the guide together, because if she had made that leap and jumped ship without doing that due diligence, she would have been so stressed. So again, this guide isn't about following one specific timeline. It's about making an exit on your terms with what fits in your life with your unique specific situation. And really, there's nothing more empowering than that. I'm going to share a little bit more about this guide so that you can feel really comfortable with it. It's broken down into 3 phases. Phase 1 is the planning phase. Phase 2 are those practical actions that you need to start taking to finalize your exit plan. Step 3 is the emotional work. And this is very important. Each one of these phases is critical in building up your confidence to make the leap out of corporate. Do not skip any of these steps. And I know some of you are going to be like, I don't need emotional work. I don't have to do that. Yes, you do. That is probably the most important part of this when you have had your entire identity wrapped up in your corporate title and your paycheck for years. So do not skip that. But here's the thing, you don't have to do it in order. You don't have to go from page 1 to, the end of the guide in order. You can skip around. You can deep dive where you need to spend more time. And I don't care what you want to go do after you leave corporate. It doesn't matter. Getting out follows a pretty similar set of criteria. So this guide is going to apply to you, at least based on what I've seen from using this guide over the past 3 years. You might be wondering, Karen, that's great. I'm sold. I want the guide. How do I get it? Whew, I thought you'd never ask. You can go purchase your own copy right now at KarenFreeland.com/empowered-exit. It is waiting for you right now. And yes, you might notice I said purchase. I have released a lot of free tools over the past 6 years in my business, and The ones that are free almost never get used and implemented. I cannot tell you how many times I have reached out to someone who has downloaded the Career Compass, for example, or the 6 Secrets to Getting Unstuck guide. And when I ask them if they've completed it or taken the steps outlined in that freebie, they almost always say no. Well, I was going to, but I started to, but then insert excuse, right? And I don't want another guide sitting on your laptop. That's not going to help you get out of corporate. You don't need another PDF collecting digital dust. I want you to actually build your plan. I want you to start investing in yourself. And that starts with small investments like purchasing the guide. So that's why I'm charging for it, because if you pay, you will play, meaning you're going to do the work, right? So this is for your best interest. In the coaching industry, we say a lot of times, people who pay attention, right? Because you are now invested, you have some skin in the game. If it's free, you're not going to value it. Now, you might be a DIYer, and that's awesome, right? I sometimes like to DIY stuff too. And this guide is going to allow you to DIY your exit and to do so successfully. But you might also want a sounding board. You might want some accountability. And that's where coaching comes in. So I am offering a very special 3-session coaching package with the guide if you want that kind of hands-on support as you design your unique exit plan. This package cannot be found anywhere else. It is only available when you purchase the guide. No one else can get this special offer. It's not on my website. I'm not sharing it on social. It's only for people with the guide. And these hour-long sessions are going to help us work through your questions, your fears, your goals, your expectations, whatever you need to confidently step into your next chapter. And you can find all of this at KarenFreeland.com/empowered-exit. The Empowered Exit Guide is the only tool you need to make your exit plan. You don't have to spend hours reading blogs, searching Google, going through all of these things. This is real world stuff that I have used with my clients, all in one place. So take that first step. You've been thinking about this for a while now. You're ready. Probably even more ready than you realize. So go get that guide and let's rock your reinvention. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're inspired to take action by committing to one of the tips or strategies we talked about in today's episode. If you want more accountability and support, I've got your back. Book a complimentary Empowered Exit Strategy call today. Visit KarenFreeland.com to learn more and book your 45-minute session. Until next time, stay fabulous.